This is a quick review about energy in terms of what are the different forms of energy. The PDF version of this you can find in our conference. One thing to point out is that there are two basic categories. There's potential energy, which is energy that is stored up in something, and then there is kinetic energy, which is energy that is talking about something that's in motion. And then within those, there are different types of energy. So for example, chemical energy is one category of potential energy, and that's the energy stored within the bonds of a molecule. And you can release that energy by the process of cellular respiration, but also by the process of combustion, right, where that's very important to us as living organisms. There's mechanical energy, which is sort of tension, so compressed springs, rubber bands, etc. Not as important in our field of study, but possibly if you're looking at movement. Nuclear energy is a very important one that we'll cover when we get to different sources of energy for making electricity, and that's the energy that is stored in the atom and in the nucleus of the atom especially. There are forces holding the subatomic particles together, and that can be released if two different atoms come together or if one atom splits apart. Gravitational energy is what most of us think of when we think of potential energy, and that's the idea that something that is held at a certain point will move when gravity acts on it. And electrical energy could be a form of potential energy when you store up the electricity. This is the potential for electrons to move. But when they actually start moving and you transmit electricity, that's a type of kinetic energy, because kinetic is all about something moving, and electrical energy flows because electrons start moving. Another form of energy that is kinetic is radiant, meaning things moving in waves. That could be the entire electromagnetic spectrum, which includes what we think of like light and radio waves, but that also includes heat, which is either an infrared radiation, or another way to think about thermal energy and heat is that when something warms up, that actually causes the molecules to start vibrating. And so that molecular vibration is the heat, and so therefore it's a type of kinetic energy. What most of us would think of with respect to kinetic energy is this motion energy, the energy of something that is in motion, is an object moving around. And then additionally, we should remember that sound is actually vibrations of air particles or of objects and things like that. And so because that is energy, it's because that's movement, that is a type of kinetic energy. This is not a very high-powered one. It can do very little work. Likewise, thermal energy is considered somewhat lower in power, but things like radiant energy can be very, very high-powered. For example, if you think of gamma rays, which is what's given off during fission in a nucleus, or X-rays and ultraviolet rays, they have a lot of energy in them. So the energy, not all energy is created equal, and that's very important when you look at the different types of thermodynamics, the two laws of thermodynamics, which will be in a different video.